I got two words for you. May. My review of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Parker's Couch. Glad to have you here with us again. And as always, make sure you're following us on all the things and checking out the podcast on all major platforms. Today, my friends, we are getting into the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's right, that was my movie choice of this previous week. The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is many years after the reign of Caesar. A young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that would define a future for apes and humans alike. Now, the Planet of the Apes sneakily has been a franchise that has been going on for quite a while. It has had quite a long run in Hollywood, with some being really great and some being not so great, leaving a lot to be desired. I think when the reboot happened with the Rise of the Planet of the Apes and with that War of the Planet of the Apes, I enjoyed that franchise. I thought that was a good reboot. And here we are again with more of the Planet of the Apes. So, as always, as I get into my review, I will go through the people involved and then get into my thoughts. And I will, I have some spoilers and I have some things, and so do with that as you will. I hope you stick around and continue. But let's get into it. All right. So, The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was directed by Wes Ball. Now, Wes Ball, he is known for many works, particularly the Maze franchise. So, if you were a Maze runner, the Death Cure, the Scorch Trials, all that series of the Maze, then you may enjoy Wes Ball's work. He's done a host of Star Trek type things or whatnot, but this is like a big major film for him. The Maze was too. So it's been a while since he's been in that driver's seat of a big blockbuster film. Now, the writing team consists of Josh Friedman, Rick Java, or Hava, or Hoffa, I don't know which way you say it, and Amanda Silver. Now, Josh Friedman, he was known for things such as War of the Worlds, Terminator Dark Fate. If you are a fan of one of the more, I think that was the last Terminator, if I'm not mistaken, Chain Reaction, and Avatar Way of the Water. And that makes sense. After seeing this film, I could see him being a writer for Avatar and also being a writer of this film. Rick Hoffa and Amanda Silver, they seem like they are used to working together because, well, actually they all have worked together, I should say, because they were all on the Avatar The Way of the Water on the last project. But he has also been in wrote for the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, of course, and the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and Jurassic Park. No, Jurassic World. I'm sorry. And then you have Amanda Silver, wrote for the exact same things, and also Mulan. Amanda and Rick, they were on the previous installments of the Planet of the Apes. So that's a good writing choice to keep things going, to keep continuity and those sorts of things going through the story. As far as the cast goes, Owen Teague plays Noah. Noah is the main character. He's the main chimpanzee of the Eagle Clan of the group. Owen is known for roles in It as Patrick, It Chapter 2, Bloodline, that's a TV series. He's been on numerous episodes of that, and Black Mirror. He was on one episode of Black Mirror. The character Noah is a solid character. It's a solid lead in this film. I would say every voice fits. Do with that as you may, whatever that means, for this voiceover and playing apes. But every voice made sense with the characters that were portrayed in the movie, in my opinion. Then we have May. It's on sight. Every time I see you, Miss May, who is played by Freya Allen. Now you might know her from The Witcher. If you were a fan of that series, I was a fan of the Witcher series, so you may remember her from that. She was also in a series called The Third Day, and she was in Gunpowder Milkshake, and now Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And May was the human that followed the ape, this lesser clan around, followed Noah around, and she becomes an irritating character to me, as you will see in my review. Kevin Durant, he played Proximus Caesar. You might remember Kevin Durant from my Abigail review, as he was Peter in Abigail. But you also may know him from X-Men Origins, Wolverine, I Am Number 4, Wild Hogs, Robin Hood, and a host of other things. So he plays the new Caesar character in this, and he's not seen. He's talked about a lot in the film, and it's an important part of the film, but he's not seen his character until the end and stuff, or towards the end. Next up, we have Peter Macon, who plays Raka. Raka was probably one of my low-key favorite characters. I wish we had more Raka. There's a reason we didn't have more Raka, but he's known for the TV series The Orville, or The Orville. Which way did you say that? I remember that show, but I don't remember which way it's pronounced. He was also in the Family Guy series for a few episodes. He was in Shameless for a few episodes as well. If you're friends of Shameless, you might know him from that. And SEAL Team was another one at NCIS. So Raka, I want more Raka. We need Raka to be revived some kind of way, but he played the orangutan in the movie who Noah eventually meets up with on his journey. Next up, we have Eka Darville, who plays Silva, who was the head lieutenant of Caesar's army, the new Caesar's army in the movie. And he's known for things like Jessica Jones, Her Smell, Bernard and Huey, The Sapphires. He's been around in a few projects, and he played that character right. He had the definite voice for someone coming in and destroying stuff. Next up, we have Travis Jeffrey, who played Anaya. Now, Anaya was one of the friends of Noah in the movie. Travis is known for things like Preacher, Broken, Home and Away, Before Dawn. So he has a few projects under his belt. Now, one of the other friends is played by Lydia Peckman, and her character is Suna in the movie. So it's Anaya, Suna, and Noah. They kind of run together as a trio. And she's been in Only Cloud Knows, Take Home Pay, True Love. And, her character, she doesn't have the friends of Naya and Suna, they don't have like a lot of parts, but they have crucial parts. I guess the last person I will highlight would be Neil Sandilands. He plays Koro, the father of Noah. He's been in things like Sweet Tooth, if you watch that series. Stuff. I wonder if that series is coming back. News of the World, The Flash, and Desert Rose. And he plays Noah's father, which they have a complicated relationship, which you don't get so much into, but it's like hinted around, and it plays into the story too as well. Now let's talk about this movie. So the film does start off with the funeral of Caesar. So we're putting Caesar to rest. We all know, if you've seen The War of the Planet of the Apes, say it's a good movie. I will go back and watch that if you haven't seen it. But we know like he gets shot and stuff in that movie, and he ends up succumbing to his gunshot wounds, and Caesar is being laid to rest at the beginning of this film. And it's a beautiful film and paying tribute to Caesar. We fast forward many generations later, and now we have this new tribe, the Eagle Clan, that Noah, Anaya, Suna, Koro, all these people are a part of. And they have this interesting tradition where they bond with eagles, and they become like, their friend for life, and, doing things for them or whatnot. And the way they do it, whenever they become of age, you have to go and steal an eagle's egg. So there's a hunting scene whenever Anaya, Suna, and Noah are all going out to get their first egg to bond with, as part of their Eagle Clan tradition. Cool scene. Do that on their way home or coming back. They encounter a strange person that they see, or they don't know what it is. I won't say they call it a person or whatnot. So as they're trying to figure out what this creature is, they run into a blanket and they smell it and realize it's not of ape. So they bring the blanket back with them to the village, share it with the elders, the father, all those things. And they're like, "Where did you get this? Did you go to the forbidden place?" Because these elders know that this is human, but they refer to it as echo. So some elders leave the camp to go investigate. In the meantime, Noah is there in the village, and everybody's carrying around their eagle egg and trying to protect it. And that night, here's nobody but May showing up once again, ruining things, May, like you were this whole movie. But she shows up and she is starving basically. So she's trying to take their fish. She's in it. They have all this fish or whatever in this one room. And she encounters Noah. His egg ends up cracking. So Noah has to set out eventually to go that night and try to recover a new egg, because he would have to wait until next year to do this all over again, because whatever their ceremony and their rituals are. That night, whenever he goes to search out a new egg, he sees that group of people who left out to go investigate this blanket have now been killed. So we get to our big first fight scene of the movie. I thought this was a great scene whenever you have these evil apes going out and trying to capture these innocent little chimpanzees and stuff, and just beating the mess out of them and burning their just their village down. And Noah, he gets back to the camp and he's trying to do what he can to save everyone. And he and his father are fighting one of the main apes and stuff here. And let's just say it does not go very well for the Eagle Clan. They're all in prison. Some end up dying and they're taken away. And so Noah is left by himself whenever he was knocked out, and he gets up the next day, and now he's on this journey to go and try to rescue his clan that has all been taken away. He has no idea where they are, but he's going to try to figure it out. Now his father was the master of eagles, the master of birds, so that's important to know. And Noah wasn't there yet. He was just starting off, and his father's eagle is like following Noah on this journey. And right now they have this relationship where it's a little contentious between them, because it's not his eagle. The eagle isn't necessarily trusting, but still is kind of watching over Noah and following on this whole journey. On this journey, along the way, he meets Raka, my favorite character. Raka was an orangutan whose clan was also wiped out by this renegade group of apes. And it's important to note that this group also was shouting out for Caesar. They was like, "For the will of Caesar, they're doing this." And I'm like, "What Caesar y'all talking about? This ain't the Caesar I know, that I grew to love. Caesar would not approve of this because he didn't like apes fighting against apes." And whenever he encounters Raka, Raka's clan was wiped out, but his clan was one who kept notes, and they were smart. They wrote books. He was teaching Noah and showing Noah books and things that Noah has never seen before, and helping him understand how life used to be. And and teaching him that humans were, once pretty much we were the dominant, and we lived alongside humans or whatnot. In the midst of them traveling, here comes May, still following them. But Raka is super excited because he just really wanted to get to know a human. And he is the last kind of line of really knowing Caesar's true teachings and trying to keep that stuff all in impact. It's funny to watch how he's treating her like a pet, how things are reversed, in this world. So he's throwing her food and making sure that she's warm and all these things like that. So May ends up becoming a part of their journey. One thing, whenever Rocco was teaching Noah about Caesar, because because Noah, of course, at this point really doesn't see it for Caesar. Because if they're saying for the will of Caesar as they're destroying my village, what does this mean? But Rocco is pretty much telling them how people distort teachings, and this is not the way it's supposed to go and stuff, and how shameful it is. And I was like, how dreadful that this happens in our real world. I thought that was a really good connection of people distorting certain teachings and taking it upon themselves and doing things that's not of what the original really was meant to be about. So that was a cool little part. And Rock has a lot of little funny lines and stuff with his character. We get to another scene on their journey whenever they encounter more humans, and May sees more people like her, and they encounter zebras. When they first see the zebras too, their mouths just drop. They're like, what is that? They're horses with stripes. That was funny. And at this point they decide to break off. Rocka's gonna stay with May. Noah's gonna keep on his journey, but this renegade ape group shows up, and now they're going and trying to capture humans. They're going and doing all the things, and they see May, and it's like a connection, like they know we need to bring her back some kind of way or something. I don't know the ins and outs of that. Maybe I missed something, how they knew to really target her. But now they're all running for their lives. And in this scene, we find out that May can speak, because humans are supposed to be silent. They lost their ability to talk. All these things, the apes think that they're just dumb and slow and they don't understand things. But he's like, this May is like smarter than the usual one. And in this scene, she screams out Noah's name because she's about to be captured by the apes, but she sees Noah on a horse, looking for her, and he's trying to save her. So she screams out his name, and everybody kind of pauses for a second. And then she takes off running for him. And that's the clip you see in the trailer whenever he like swings and picks her up or whatever, and she gets on his back on the horse and stuff. It was a really cool scene. Nicely shot there, and they escape this attempt right here, the apes. We fast forward. Another crucial part is whenever they are on their journey and they're about to cross this bridge, but they end up getting cornered on this bridge. On one end is the lieutenant of the bad apes, and the other end is some of his other people. So they're like stuck in the middle. And so there's this fight on this bridge, and of course, May falls in the raging waters. And of course, Raka has to try to save her. And you can imagine what ends up happening. May. I tell you, it's always May. May is at the center of starting a lot of this stuff in this movie. But anyway, they end up being captured and they're taken to the camp. But Noah gets to be reunited with his Eagle clan. People are still there. His mother is there. Anaya and Suna, all them and stuff. So that's a good part. At least he's there with them. They take May to this other room, and there's this other human that's there, and they're talking and stuff, and he's has all his books and everything in there, and she's kind of like, what is going on, what is happening here? But what you find out, okay, they're catching all these apes and they're making them slaves, to really get this door open. It's all about getting this big door open. That Caesar, this new Caesar, we're introduced to the new Caesar now, that he knows there's stuff inside that he believes could be to his advantage, that was left there by humans and stuff a long time ago. And he knows that May knows how to get inside. And so there's a revelation that happens whenever he invites Noah to a dinner, Caesar with May. And he starts telling them pretty much like, she hasn't told you everything, dude. Like, she knows some secrets. I know she knows. What has she told you? Has she told you anything about getting inside this door? And Noah's looking really confused because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And now he's kind of hurt too because May has been not she hasn't been telling the truth. Like, find out she can talk. And she hasn't been like trusting like this whole time. It may try to explain like, oh, I didn't trust you and blah blah blah. I didn't know if Ace could be trusted. I guess I understand that. You're in a world where you are second class, third class, fourth class, whatever you want to put it. And the apes are just wiping y'all out. So I can understand, not necessarily trusting apes. But you and Noah have been on this journey for quite a while, and you have followed them and this Eagle clan for quite a while. You should have known this man is trustworthy or whatever by this point. But anyway, they devise a plan because she's like, he can't get what's inside of here. We need to get in there and we need to blow it up. Like Noah was like, well, if we get will water ruin it? They have this idea of blowing up the barrier between the door and the water and stuff, and just let the water rush in and ruin everything and stuff with inside this door. But she's like, I gotta get in here. It's stuff I need to get from inside. Da 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 da. So they devise a plan to go inside, and he enlists Anaya and Suna to do this dangerous climb because they are great climbers. So they do this dangerous climb to get up inside what's behind this wall. When you get inside this big building, it was almost like a bunker type thing for humans to shelter down. And so they're inside, and the apes are discovering all this stuff that they never knew. They see books and they see pictures, and then they see books of them being in cages, like in zoos and stuff like that. So they're like, what is this? What's going on? And at this point, May has separated because she told them to stay here. She needs to go to this part alone. So I was like, what is May up to? So she goes in and she sees some guns. So, she grabs a gun, and she also grabs a key piece that she was looking for, that's in this building, this disc type thing, or this file, I guess you can say. And she made sure she takes that. And so they do all the things they need to do inside, and they get ready to leave. And whenever they open the door, they're like, all right, we got to move quick. When this door opens, we got to go and set these explosives and blow everything up so everything, goes away. But when they open the door, Caesar and all the apes are on the other side because Caesar knew that Noah was going to lead him inside the building because he knew how to get in there. So he knew to keep some kind of watch. And sure enough, when the door opens, this is where the epic kind of final scene kind of sets up, where then Caesar's like, look, Noah, you got a choice. He grabs one of the apes, and they're threatening to kill the ape right there. There's like, it's either this ape or the human. Who are you going to choose? Who are you going to stand beside? Because these humans are not trustworthy. You cannot trust them. So it's like this intense moment, and it's getting down to a decision. And all of a sudden, all you hear is a gunshot. Boom. May blasted the ape that was threatening to kill the other ape. And it's like slowly dying. You see the blood running, and the apes are like, what happened? And he just drops dead. So then everybody's like, whoa, what's going on? And she's holding this gun up to all of them. Caesar's eyes light up. He's kind of like, look, you can go free. We'll let you pass. Can you just tell me if there are more of those in there? I'm like, Caesar, no, what are you up to? So Caesar just wants these guns now, once he saw what that did. But May is like, they had this original plan, right, to blow up the building and let all the water in. But obviously, you can't do that now because all these apes are down here, and all these people, including Noah and the clan that has helped you out, are right here. So Caesar, Noah's looking at Maya. It's like, please don't do it, because Maya's like, I'm out of here. I'm taking the choice to leave and to go out freely. So she starts to leave freely, but she's like, I'm sorry. I can't let them get this. And she goes on with the plan, and she blows the shit up. And the water just comes in, and this about to destroy all the apes right there, and she just looking back like, well, y'all getting what y'all deserve. Then it's just a epic, really a really cool scene of all the water rushing and the apes fighting and climbing to get up. And Noah takes charge and he's directing his clan and he's showing his clan the way out. And then he has a big fight with one of the lieutenants, with the main lieutenant who killed his father. And he's out to get revenge on that. So that was a cool scene. I'm not going to tell you what happens. You need to go and see it. Then at the very top, all he gets his Eagle clan out. They're all out, but Caesar made it out too. And Caesar starts to put a beat down on Noah, which he should have. He was like, I told you. It's like trusting these humans. I told you what's going to happen. And he starts to beat him down. And everybody's just looking. And in my head, I'm like, y'all are massive. Why don't all y'all just jump Caesar right now? This isn't making any sense. Come on, chimps. Like, just band together and jump his ass. But anyway, here we go. You remember the bird? There was an integral part with being a master of birds. There was a scene before this where the eagle actually does come to Noah. They had developed the bond, and so at this point, he starts singing the eagle's song. And there's a scene earlier in the movie where he wouldn't sing the song, but now because he's like, "I'm not a master of birds. That was my father. Like I'm not worthy to sing it." But now he starts to sing it. And I'm like, Caesar, you in trouble now. And all these eagles come and they do what they need to do. They do what needs to be done. And then he leads his tribe home. And they're there rebuilding. They're doing their thing, having fun. And who shows up? May. At this point, I yelled out so loud in the theater. I was like, her. Because, yes, you just tried to kill all them, did not care after they did all this stuff for you. And she shows up with a gun behind her back too, like she's gonna blast them again. And her and Noah have a exchange, and Noah, there it's uncertain if there could be a future with them living together, and they're kind of working through this. And Noah extends the courtesy to give her um this piece that Raka had gave him that was to remind him of Caesar and the ways of Caesar, and of keeping people together, because Caesar thought humans were important, he thought apes were important, and he wanted us to coexist. So he's extending that back to May, and she's all like in tears, and I'm like, the gall, the audacity to show up here after you did what you did. But then we see a key scene at the end whenever there's this bunker of humans, and she shows up and she gives them this file, and they go in and they put it in, and what you find out, it's like it gets the satellites and stuff back working, so humans can now communicate with each other. And they're reaching out, and then they're hearing each other on radios in different parts of the world. It's setting up another trilogy series here, and I could see the next one being now humans trying to take back over and get what's theirs. Because throughout while they were there at the enslavement camp too, the guy, the other human that was there, kept telling May that you're trying to get back to something that's not anymore. You're trying to recapture something that can't be. Like, this is just the new world. Like, let's live within this new world, but you can't bring back what was lost. So that's going to set up this interesting kind of fight between the humans and the apes. And I'm rolling with the apes because these humans are crazy. Okay? These humans have no soul. They're callous. But the apes, they're about the same too, because they were really, I mean, you got the raw one in charge. And I guess everybody goes to war if you look at it that way. So my overall take on the movie, I thought the movie was very solid. The cinematography was nice. There wasn't anything like amazing or out of this world, but it was very pleasant. And there were some undoubtedly beautiful shots. I thought the fight scenes were done really well within the movie. And I thought overall the characters made sense and the story made sense for the movie. Where I thought the movie struggled a little bit was the pacing. The pacing was a little off. There were little times I was looking at my phone and not really caring what's happening on the screen. And I just think overall it's very hard for just voiceovers and stuff to carry a movie whenever you're relying on so much. Now it's time for my official review. I'm giving this 3 wine glasses. It was enjoyable. It is a good movie. I don't think you necessarily need to see it in the theaters, but I wouldn't be mad if you spent the ticket. Like if you spent the money to go see it, I don't think you'd be mad. It is an enjoyable film. So 3 wine glasses to you. That is my review of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and it will be and always will be May. Now she better make up for herself. And this next part, whenever it comes out, um, I have a feeling she's gonna start off with the humans, and then she's gonna empathize with Noah. I think him making that move at the end is gonna be crucial. So we'll see what happens. But thank you for watching, and go check it out.